Okay, everybody, we're going to do something a little advanced because you're really moving up here on the videos, and it's getting time where you're going to have to start rewriting a Wikipedia page. So I haven't read this page over. It's on our to-do list, and if it hasn't already been done, maybe you want to take it on. This is for Alan Hale, the astronomer, and it is a stub. And you know it's a stub because it says down here at the bottom, it is a stub. Now this page is in really bad shape. It is embarrassing, in my opinion. It's got only 7 citations. This guy looks like he's a pretty awesome person. He's known for the co-discovery of the comet Hale-Bopp. I mean, his name is first Hale. And look at this crappy looking Wikipedia page. I mean, seriously, this is really, really embarrassing. It really is embarrassing. So let's say that we wanted to rewrite this Wikipedia page. How do you go about doing it? And I do want you to start off by rewriting Wikipedia pages. I don't want you to start trying to write a Wikipedia page because you have to deal with the noteworthy problems. And I really want you to start with this rewrites. So here's kind of how you do it. Everybody has their own style. It's going to depend on your personal way you organize yourself. So I'm going to kind of generally show you how I would do it. Now, first thing you need to do is you would need to go over to the talk page, and you need to let everybody, all those people on Wikipedia, know that you're about to rewrite this Wikipedia page because you don't want any interference. And if there's going to be interference, you need to know right away before you spend months or weeks or days writing this Wikipedia page, right? So you would look it over and see if there's anything here that, should concern you. Is there somebody who's already made a notice on here saying, I'm going to be rewriting this Wikipedia page, or this is a page that I don't think should ever be touched. It's exactly the way it's always been, or I don't know. You want to look and see if there's anything written on here or something controversial. But look, it's empty. The last time this page was modified was 2012. That's pretty bad. So you would write over here in a new section. You would write in here, you clicked on the new section button, and you would get a section, and here's your headline. It would say, I am going to be rewriting this Wikipedia page or whatever. And then you would write some kind of note. This note is going to be public on the talk page. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to call dibs, I guess is the easiest way of saying it. You're trying to tell everybody that this is the page, you're going to be working on it, but you also want to let everybody know that you're welcome to have other people help you work on it. Well, in theory, you're not, because you are rewriting this Wikipedia page, and probably it might be your first one, so you're going through training and you're trying to rewrite your Wikipedia page. You don't really get a lot of help. You're going to get feedback from GSoW, but at this point in your training, you're doing this pretty much by yourself, other than us giving you feedback as you go along. But you want people to know that you're probably going to do this, and that you want to look like you will allow other people to help you. In the future, you'll be asking for help, and that's not a problem. But just, you would write something like, I am totally embarrassed at how horrible this page is. I'm going to rewrite it. I'm going to take a try at rewriting it. Maybe put a timeline. Give me 3 weeks. If you have anything you want to add to the article, please leave it here on talk page. The talk page. And you're see how friendly I am? Because I just want people to think that, they're going to help me. Well, they probably aren't, because most of the time you're going to be picking pages that are pretty much abandoned. Then you're going to put 4 tildes. See those tildes? Because when you put those 4 tildes and you save the page, it signs it with your name. So let's go to show preview so you can see what happens. And here it is. I'm totally embarrassed at how horrible this page is. I'm going to rewrite it. See how I said this? And see, the 4 tildes put my name on there, and the date and the time. Okay? So let's go out of this because I'm really not rewriting this Wikipedia page. So I'm going to hit leave this page. So that just erased my changes. They're not there, so don't go look. So you want to set it up because, like I said, you want to find out if there's anybody out there who's already rewriting the Wikipedia page. They would get a notice, hopefully, and say, oh, somebody else is starting to do this, because you don't want to rewrite a page and then somebody else is already doing it too. So let's take a quick look at this page. Again, we said this is in pretty bad shape. There's 7 citations. There is really no body. I mean, that's hardly anything. It has some interesting stuff on here. It has that he has his sons, where he's living, and internet infidels, some other stuff in here. And the lead is, I guess that's a sentence long. That's pretty bad. The info box exists. There's no photos. There's no photos anywhere on this page. And, so it's not so great. So there's some citations and things like that. What I would do is I would start going through and trying to find some more citations, because what you're trying to do is you want to do this not in one sitting, but you don't want to create a sandbox for a page and then do all your research and then a month later come back and put the research in and start building the page. Because what can happen during that month of the time that you've copied this text to the time you start actually making your edits, something could happen. Somebody could come in and start adding content, some kind of rewrite goes through, and then what you've copied at the beginning and then what you're working on might be double duty. You've done a lot of work on something. So if you're planning on working on the page in the next 2 or 3 days, then go ahead and do what I'm about to do. If you think that it's going to take you a few weeks or a month or so to get to the point where you're going to start editing, then I would probably start doing your research first, make notes, and then do what I'm about to do. Okay? I hope that made sense. So I'm going to go over here to the edit screen. I'm going to click on this white area, and then I'm going to hit Control A, which will highlight everything. And then I'm going to hit Control C. And then I'm going to go to my sandbox, which is open. I've got it open. I'm going to hit Control V, and that's going to paste it all on here. And then I no longer need this page. So I could just close it out if I wanted to. So I'm going to my sandbox. And this is exactly the exact same page that I was using a minute ago. There's a little template you can put up here at the top that says this is a page in, don't bother my page. It's something I'm working on, leave it alone. And of course, I don't have that open right now, but just that's fine. So we can go down here. The first thing we need to do is we need to remove categories, because these categories can't be live, because you don't want them to come, people looking under the discoverers of comments category and finding your sandbox. So we're gonna make these not live, and the easiest way to do that is to go ahead and put a little space in between all of these, so that the citation no longer works. At least I hope that's what we do. Okay. The other thing that we can do is we can get rid of this astronomer stub. It's not going to be a stub when you're finished working with it. So let's just get that out of the way too. Other things that might need to be done are, well, you've already got your info box. That's pretty lame. There's nothing else in here, right? I mean, no. And another thing you can do, let's go back to Wikipedia, is go to a peers page. Let's go to Bart Bach, because he is an astronomer. And this is a page that was rewritten by the GSoW project. And I know it's in really good shape because, well, we rewrote it. So this is kind of a good visual to look at. This guy who who Halebot's named after, should have a page at least this good. 35 citations, okay? That's pretty damn good. So what we're looking for is something to come up with about like this. I think the other one was 7. See how they've put photos in here of different things that they found, astronomical photos. So I guess a photo of Hale Bopp would be definitely something that you want to put in here. These are really nice. Look at this nice info box and this nice long lead. This is a pretty long lead. This is probably the maximum of a lead you'd ever want to write. But this guy's pretty awesome, so maybe it should go up to about here. So like 2 paragraphs is what you're looking for. So let's go over and steal some stuff, okay? Let's open Bart Box page up. Now here's info box scientist is what he's using. The other guy is using info box person. So let's use info box scientist because that sounds really awesome. So look how long this thing is. So I'm going to copy this. Copy, 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 copy. Control C. I'm going to go over here and let's just put it underneath. Control V. Okay, so what I need to do is everything that's going to come has to come out of here. So obviously Bart Box got to come out of here. His image, this should go, his caption, and that's got to go. And so I would just go through here. I'll leave this in here for the moment. The guy we're doing is not dead, so we don't have to worry about that. This can all go. We don't need to know where he's buried at because we don't have that. Citizenship. I think our guy's is American too. Field, we know he's astronomy too, so that's fine. So we take all this and we take it all out. This is how I do things, guys. I'm sure there's a place to go to find a very perfect info box. It's already clean and fresh, but so we would fill this in. Oh, here's his spouse. I don't think our man's married to the same woman. He's got even children in here. Okay. Starting fresh. So what, oops, there's a little thing that got left here, huh? Okay. So what we would do is we would transfer our stuff, Alan Hale. Control C, paste. Birth date, 1958. 58. 307. 07. 07. And then occupation, that's right, alma mater, New Mexico State University. Is it on here someplace? Aha. And then I would take birthplace. Copy that. Do you see it? You're probably looking right at it. There it is. And okay, so we've taken everything from here. We don't need this anymore. That's gone. Bye. Bye. Bye-bye. So info box scientist. So now we look at all this stuff we can get. We have a place to put a photo. We can put a caption under the photo. If his birth name was different, if we find out his middle name or something, if he dies, citizenship, we know he's American. Nationality, he's American, obviously. We could, if he has a thesis, we could notable students. He's known for, what is he known for? He's known for the Hale Bopp thing, right? Here he is. He's known for co-discovery of comet Hale Bopp. So I'm going to copy that, paste. And I probably should put the capital. Maybe he has some awards, a spouse, partner, children. Who knows? So you can go through and fill this all out and just get some new information. Okay, so that's one of the first things I would do is I would put a nice, beautiful info box in here with as many categories as you possibly can find, because as you go through and you do your research, you can go in and fill these little details in as it comes across to you as you find something. Let's hit show preview just so we see what we got. Okay, Show preview. Okay, it's not showing an awful lot more in this info box because they don't show all the lines that have nothing in it. But you and I both know there's more room over here. Nothing else has changed. Categories are gone. Well, sort of, they're there. And we have some other stuff. So let's make ourselves some notes because this is how I do it. And since you're watching me teach you how to edit, you're probably going to do it like I am. Okay, so this is one sentence. So I'm going to make a note underneath here. This is the lead right here. One sentence only. Expand to 2 paragraphs. Now remember that the lead does not have to have citations in it. I can see some, I see one up here. The lead can be just completely empty of citations as long as the citations to everything that's in the lead are somewhere in the body of the article. Now I'm going to bold this because I like to be able to see it better. So I just hit this bold button after I copied, highlighted it. Here's his biography. Maybe I would change this instead of biography. I would put early life. Now, the first letter of the category is always capitalized, but everything after it is not capitalized unless it's a proper noun. That's just some Wikipedia thing. So this is going to be about his early life. Hopefully I'll be able to find some information about his early life. And then I would probably put something down here. The equal signs mean, I put personal. And then maybe I would have a section for, what else would we have? Again, you can look at his peers page and see what's on here. Early life and studies. So they put an actual date. You don't have to do that, but you could. Here's where the guy was over in Harvard and what happened to him in those years. And then here he went to Australia. So as they did the research on Bart Bach, they saw that these things happened and the citations had some kind of relevance to everything happened during the time he's in Australia. This is when he returned to the U.S. Here's his honors, awards, things were named after him, selected publications. Well, let's use selected publications. That's good. So I'm sure this guy's got some selected publications, right? So let's put it down here. Now I got to put those little equal signs so that we have some categories, right? And then what else is on Bart Box? Notes. I don't usually use those. Here's another astronomer. Can you guys think of another astronomer? Let's do Phil Plait. That's another person. That GSoW has spent a lot of time working on. Let's look at his page. So here's his info box. Early life, career. Let's do a career section on him. Personal life almost always goes down towards the bottom. And then research, education. Now see how these have a different kind of color? It's career, and then it's research, educational research. Here's his badastronomy.com. See how they kind of have a different side to them? Books, awards, honors, personal life. Here's media appearances. Okay, let's look and see. Because see how they're different. It's like career is one font, and then he's got these other things. So it looks a little different on Phil Plait. Let's look and see what it's about. You get to where you kind of like certain things and the way things are done. And what they've done is when the career was a little bit bigger, it had 2 equal signs, but these have 3 equal signs. That makes it bolder and a different kind of font. Here, see? It's 3 equal signs in each side. We don't have to do that, but that's kind of how that's why it looks different. See? Career and research look different from each other because this one has 3 equal signs and this one only has 2. So I would assume that our person we're doing, Alan Hale, he probably has something to do with Hale Bopp, right? So maybe let's make a section that's just on Hale Bopp. because there's probably going to be a whole bunch of writing about, oops, there's a comma. There's probably going to be a whole bunch of writing about Hale Bopp, maybe interviews he's done, or media coverage of Hale Bopp, or the actual everything that he had done that had something to do with Hale Bopp. So the next thing I would probably do, let's just look at this and see where we're at with our show preview. Okay, see here's where I bolded it. One sentence only, expanded 2 paragraphs. Early life, Hale Bopp, career, personal life, selected publications, references, external links. So we've added selected publications, we've added personal life, career, Hale Bopp, early life. Okay, the next thing we want to do is we need to start going through this and sorting through it, because if you're rewriting it, you need to make sure that everything that's in here now is accurate. The citations still linked to the you know, they haven't expired or they're no longer good. So you need to go through each one of these and make sure they all open up correctly. Make sure that they say what they are supposed to say. So this is citation 1, and it's used right here. I guess this is his birthday. So I guess under the citation, he's talking about his birthday and what day it was, so that that's how they got the birthday. This one here is a book. You may or may not be able to get to that book, so you may have to just take it that is correct. You can't check everything. My Secret Place, New Mexico Magazine, Alan Hall. Let's click on it. I have no idea. Oops, I don't want to, oops. I want to stay on this page, don't I? So I don't want to go to there. But if I went to edit, I could copy that and go. So you need to go through each one of these citations and make sure that it links correctly and that it says what it's supposed to say, that it says in this article, and see if there's more information you can glean. And then what I would do is, after I've made sure that this is all correct, I would start putting it where it needs to be. So this part right here, after Voyager 2's encounter with Uranus, he left to JPL to attend New Mexico State University, earning his PhD in astronomy. Facing a poor job market for astronomers, he founded the Southwest Institute for Space Research. He's an advocate for improved science literacy, better career opportunities. Okay, this is really great. So maybe we should have a section on, oh, I don't know. Maybe there'd be a section for JPL, and you can just move and change these as fast as you want. If you're reading it and you go, oh, this makes sense. Look, there's a whole section on his career in JPL, and then there's a whole section of citations that have something to do with Southwest Institute for Space Research. Like I said, I don't know anything about this. I'm just making this up as I go along, just for the sake of this video. So maybe there's something else that maybe he's an advocate for improved scientific literacy, not illiteracy. Maybe he does lectures on science education. Maybe he really is into that, and he will find a whole section on him talking about science literacy. Let's go like this. I'll just do that, and let's capitalize the S. As I said, you can move these things around. You can change things around any way you want. How about we put a section on scientific skepticism, which is what GSoW is all about. Maybe we'll find he does lectures at different conferences, and he has done videos on critical thinking. Okay, so each time you go through and you read a citation and you go and you get some information about something, you should come over here and go, okay, here's a whole article about his years in JPL. And you would say, Hale talked about his experiences at JPL in the early days. I'm really making this up, you guys, okay? And then blah, 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 and then citation, and so on. And then maybe I would put the citation down and use it. And then maybe in that same citation, he talks about his early life, and his father was a plumber who wished he could be an astronaut and never got a chance because he had to go into plumbing because his father had been a plumber and his father had been a plumber. So that would go in here in early life, right? You would use it in the early life area. You would say, oh, his father was in the Air Force. Maybe he's a plumber in the Air Force. I don't know. You could put down something like his father was a plumber and his grandfather was a plumber and his father loved astronomy and never got a chance to do it. So, you know, as kids, we always went to the planetarium, and my dad really, you know, pushed astronomy on me, and I knew that that was going to be my career, and I've always loved it. So you might want to put that under early life, and you would use the citation again. You would use that so that that one citation that you found has about JPL and about his early life can be used in two different places, right? So you put a little bit here and cite it, and go down to the other part with JPL, write the stuff about JPL, cite that, and then I'd move along with something else. Now you want to make yourself notes too. This is what I do. I would make lots of notes. You would say, maybe at the end of the night, I would just be like, okay, I'm really tired. I could put a note here, say stopped here, need to find this book that was mentioned in the BOP citation. Yeah. And I would just make myself a little note. And then again, like I do, is I tend to bold them so that I can find it later. And then maybe I would say, interesting interview on point of inquiry from 2012, probably as his residence in it, listen to it, or something like that. I would make myself a nice little note of what I need to do or where I was listening, or let's bold it. Maybe under Hale Bop, I'd make myself questions like, why is his name first? Who is Bop? What was their connection? Because these are all questions that the reader of the article is going to want to know, right? Bold it. Maybe I put here, what is he doing today? Maybe not like what is he doing right this moment, but I mean, you know, is he still working? Is he teaching? Has he been at skeptic conferences? Because of course, if he has been, I'd like to give him a shout out, because I'd like to give those conferences a little, you know, information. And then you go through this stuff, and you're just making yourself notes. That's all you're doing. And you just take these things and you say, this fits in this section up here. I'm going to put it right here because that's going to fit there. And then this is going to fit right here under this section. You're just cleaning it up, and you just move it back and forth, and you'd say, oh, that shouldn't be there. I don't like the way that's worded, or he's not doing that anymore, or whatever. And you're just making yourself notes as you go along. And as you're finding out things, you can say, what some of the things I do is I just take a citation and that I've run across. Let's pull up a citation off of Phil Plates here. Just grabbing something at random. Let's hope it makes sense. And I would take that citation and I would just put it in here. Where am I? I'd put it wherever I think it's going to fit. Maybe this is a citation about it. Did I just mess up? I sure did. Huh. I was trying to make this copy here. Maybe I'll put it over here. But I'm just leaving it. It's a raw thing. I'm not citing it. I'm just leaving it there because I know I need to look at that. Like it's a citation I found somewhere. Here's another one. Just copy that. And it pulls that. Copy. And then I'm going to paste it over here. And then I could maybe say something like, these URLs were given to me to look at. Bob, whoever Bob is, thinks there is a reference to JPL. Oops. In one of them. Listen, read them. Like that. And then I would maybe I'd bold it, maybe I wouldn't bold it. So what you're doing is like a scratch piece of paper that you're just erasing and putting more information on. So that, let's say when I'm going to go to bed tonight, I would say, okay, I am done. I've had enough. I finished this, and there's all these notes to myself. Right? See, here's those websites I need to check out because Bob told me to go and look at them because one of them has a really good reference in it. This one is where I ended for the night. I got to find this book that's talking about this. And I need to make sure I understand what the readers are going to, I got to answer these questions. The readers are going to want to know this. Why is his name first? Who is Bob? And what was their connection? And then what's he doing today? What's these other things he's doing? Has he been in these skeptic conferences? Should people be able to know anything about him? Then you're going to want to go into these other places. You're going to look at Lanyard. Remember, Lanyard is a place where you can find skeptic kind of things. You're probably going to want to search his name on here and see if you can find Alan Hale. Let's just do it for the heck of it since you guys are still listening. And see, maybe he does lecture. I don't know. Nope. Or if he is, you don't see it in here. But you might have turned up a whole bunch of conferences where he has been at and he's given lectures and talked about his work and talked about things. And if so, then those were citations you could use. I would also go to Wikimedia Commons, and I would find out if there might be some photos you can use, something nice. Let's see what's over here. Okay, come on, let's go faster, faster. I've got a lot of pages open here. My son keeps telling me that's my problem. So I'm going to search for Alan Hale, and let's see if we got any photos of him. Well, here's a photo, but I don't think it's him. That's an American actor. So that's not the right guy. Oh, Alan Hill Jr. was, oh, I didn't know that was the skipper from Gilligan's Island. Well, there you go. I didn't know that. I don't think it's this guy. 1959. I don't think it's the right age. So it doesn't look like there's any photographs of him, but I guess there are some people called Alan Hill. So you might want to look through these things to make sure that he's not in here someplace. See, you can go into a rabbit hole. You start looking at this and you go, wow, skipper, let me find out more about the skipper. And then you start reading about Gilligan's Island, and then you just, you'll be gone all day. And then, hell, Bob. Let's see what's in here. Maybe there's a picture of him with Bob. I mean, who is this Bob? Oh, look, here's comment categories. Look at all these. Now, see all these photos? These are all perfectly wonderful to use on the page. Let's see. Let's grab that one because that looks really nice. So I'm just going to highlight it. Control F or Control C to copy. Look at all these. Wow. Now you don't want to fill the page with comment pictures because obviously that's just too much. But look at these things. Maybe 2 or 3. You could go back to your page. We're still editing it, right? And I can start adding photos if I want. I can take and hit this little picture right here, file name, paste it in there. What's this darn thing called that I just did? This is the one I did. Help up. April 1997. Tierra del Sol in San Diego County. Got here in the captions, insert. I mean, that's definitely should be something like this should be in here. Show preview. Wow, look at that. Wow, isn't that amazing? So we would like to have some pictures of the guy. I mean, that would be really, really nice to have some photos of the guy. But of course, you got to have something in here with a comment in it. And because you're writing the Wikipedia page, you get to choose. And so you can go through these and look at all these ones that people have uploaded over the time. Oh, look at this. What is this? I don't know. You might want to look at that. Is that the sound of a comet? Does it make a sound? Is it I guess that's the sound of a comet. Well, this is fascinating. Like I said, okay, I don't think that's what we thought it was. I thought maybe it'd be a sound of a comet. I don't know why I would think there'd be a comet, the sound, but so you can look through these and you can decide, oh, this looks great. Oh, maybe that one, maybe that one. And you get to pick out, like I said, scatter them around the page for 2 or 3. You're really trying to find some photos of the guy because it is mainly about the guy, but this would be kind of fun. Ooh, this one looks nice too. So you're going to go through and just kind of scatter them around and try to find some pictures of the guy. You might have to find pictures of him from when you get almost all the way done. You're working for GSoW now. So you're going to be we're going to give you some ideas. We're going to say, we need to find a photo of this guy. Is he on Facebook? Because if he's on Facebook, that is the easiest way to find photos of him. You just look at his photos that people have tagged of him and then contact those people who have uploaded those photos of him, find a photo you like, contact them, say, look, I need a photo for him for Wikipedia, and I like this photo right here. Could you upload it to Wikimedia Commons for me? Would you be so kind? And you'll get credit for it on Wikipedia. You can also try Flickr, and if the photo has had a release on it that allows you to just use it, then you can upload it to Wikimedia Commons, and you don't have to get permission because it's already released on Flickr. And then maybe there's a photo of him there. GSoW might just tell you, they'd say, Alan Hale. Well, heck, I'm sure we can find a way of contacting Alan Hale. Let's look at, we know Phil Plait. Let's ask Phil Plait if he knows Alan Hale, and he can get a hold of us. We also know that this guy's in New Mexico. We've got all kinds of people who are huge fans of GSoW, like Ken Fraser and Ben Radford and Dave Thomas, who's a physicist. They're all in New Mexico. I'm sure they would hook us up with this guy, and we could get some photos of him. And maybe we could actually ask Alan Hale to give the page a look over just before we're done with it. We don't want to let them get involved in it at the beginning, because then they're going to influence you and they're going to try to guide the way the page is, and they're going to be like, oh no, I don't want that on my page. I want this. Well, that's nice. You might be able to accommodate them, but it really isn't about them. It is about them, but it's not their Wikipedia page. It's not their property. So everything that's findable, that's notable, needs to go in here. Criticism, if it's notable, not scandals or anything like that, not anything that's gossipy or anything, but if it's notable, it needs to go on the page. It really does, because if you don't put it on the page, somebody else is going to do it. And it's our reputation. We need to make sure that we look neutral, because we are. Obviously, we're leaning towards the skeptics, and we do want them to look good, and we would like to make the page look great, because obviously we want to influence other people, and going into astronomy and what a fun career this is, and those kinds of things. But we don't want to whitewash anything so that we hide anything either. So anyway, this is rewriting a Wikipedia page. I hope that somebody picks this guy up. I'm going to delete all this, so none of this is going to exist anymore. So all this work I've done, you can come back in and do it yourself. I really would like to see if somebody would do this page. That would be terrific. I'm already interested in him, and I'm tempted to just start on the page. So before you choose Alan Hale, look to make sure that somebody hasn't beaten you to it. But we need a little bit longer a paragraph or two here. We need more information in this. We need a photo in here. Early life, it's already got part of it done. All these other areas need to be expanded. Some more photos of Hale Bopp, maybe a picture or two of him working at his desk. I love pictures of people at their desks. I think they're so interesting. You see all the way they organize things, and the little bebops on their desk, and the sticky notes behind them, and the books on their bookshelf. I love pictures of people at their desks, work desks. And then all the different citations are going to be down here. Like we said, we want to get this up to like 20, 30 citations, not these lousy 6 that are on here. All right? So I'm going to delete this puppy. And when you get over to working on your own rewrite, I hope that you take some of these things I've said and use them, take them to heart, and organize yourself the way you want to be organized. I would keep it all your notes on the sandbox page that you're making, because if you step away for a couple months for whatever reason, you can come back. You don't have to try to find your notes on some paper somewhere. Also, somebody else could pick it up. Let's say you abandon it for whatever reason. It would be nice if somebody could just walk in, look at your sandbox, look at the URL you have, and they could start up right where you left off. And if it's all on one page, then you don't have to share anything with them. It's just they walk in and they say, okay, so they stopped here. They've already done all this other stuff. So they it says they were waiting for a photo release, or it says that they were checking on something. Right? Let's get this stuff done, because we got to get these pages rewritten. There's a heck of a lot of pages out there that need to be rewritten, and a lot of work is waiting for us, and it is such a wonderful thing to be able to do. Oh, once you rewrite the page and you're all done, make sure you put the categories back, right? You put the little space back in there so the categories link correctly, and then you would go over to the talk page of the where you wrote that note saying, I'm about to work on this page. And then you're going to make another note. And I bet you anything, nobody's going to have responded to you. You're going to write in there, say, I'm all done. I'm making it live today. I had a hard time finding, and whatever it is you had a hard time finding. And any notes that you want to give to any future people of interest, people who might want to edit that Wikipedia page, you would leave notes in there saying, oh gosh, I don't know, maybe something like, I had a difficult time trying to decide between this book or that book. Turns out they're exactly the same book, but they have 2 different titles on it. But it really is the same content inside the books. I went to the library and got an interlibrary loan and got both books, and it was really the same book. Maybe you'd make that kind of note on there. Or you would say, I had a hard time choosing between all the different comment photos. There's an awful lot of them on the Wikimedia Commons. I just took 2 at random. If you think that there's one that's a better quality, go ahead and add it to the page. So you're leaving a note to future editors of where you left off that are not GSoW editors, because you're going to be moving on to something else. You've got, probably 1,000 more pages you're going to need to get done this month. No. So you'll have moved on to something else by then. Sorry this is such a long video, but there's so much content in here. And as I said, we all edit a little differently, and you may develop a completely different style, but that's how I do it. And that's my thought process as I went through this. And I hadn't read this Wikipedia page. I chose it completely at random. Okay, get to editing.